everybody. So, okay, so this is a look at my haul for this week and my reviews. I've taken two out though. I've taken out the Judge Dredd magazine and the latest prog of 2000 AD because I do those for a separate video. But it's still about 15 comics, so shall we get started? Normally it's really positive, but there is a few clunkers this time. But other people might like them, so I'm not going to slag them off too much. I'll try not to, anyway. So first of all, we've got one of my favourite comics of the year, Grommets. And this is by Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, they're doing the writing, and Brett Parson on the art, and Marino D'Inocio on the colouring. From the get-go, even from the cover onwards, it's just a joy to read. As I've mentioned before, it's set in the mid-80s, early 80s, in small town America. Just young guys, young girls doing what they did then. I mean, back in those days, there was no such thing as the internet. So there was much more meeting up outside, much more just finding your thrills and your entertainment away from the screen. Whereas nowadays, young people, they don't need to go out. They can talk to their friends online, they can Zoom call and everything. Yeah, and it just continues to be a joy to read. So this issue is the party issue because each 80s teen comedy, 80s rites of passage movie, TV series has to have a house party. So this is the house party, and as is prerequisite of any house party in American sitcoms, films, you name it, it always has to go wrong. It always gets crashed by people you don't want to crash it. And that basically is what happens with this. So the main character, he's still struggling with his parents because his dad's joined AA and he's become like this fanatic health freak, but he's become so self-absorbed, he doesn't care about anybody else, he just cares about himself, staying sober, blah blah blah, and his wife is just supporting him, and so they decided they want to move, and so that really throws him on the outs because he's making friends. He could have a potential girlfriend, and he's found out now they're going to leave in 2 months, so it's put him in a real shit mood. And of course his friend here, he's self-absorbed anyways. They're both like at loggerheads with each other, and it's all just getting too much for him. And then the party starts off okay, typical teenage party where you big it up, you make it sound better than it ever is going to be. It's never great. And then of course the jocks crash, and so we'll find out next month what happens there. So yeah, just wonderful. I can't give more praise and accolades to this than what I've already given. Yeah, another 9 out of 10. It's one of the best miniseries of the year. One of the best things I've read in quite a long time. It's just a joy to read. If you're not buying it, do get the collector's edition when it comes out. You won't be disappointed. Especially if you're of a certain age, like 40 plus, it'll just give you such a nostalgia blast. It's just wonderful. So yeah, first positive. Now, this could be controversial because quite a lot of people are singing the praises of this, and this is Hello Darkness #2. I like Oni's EC comics. Yeah, nice cover. I want to like this. Let me put it that way. I really want to like this. I love the final strip by Becky Cloonan and Garth Ennis, where it's about this impending war that's already spread across the world, but it's not hit America yet. I love that. The tension is building up, and I'd buy that if it's like an individual graphic novel or a miniseries. And people are singing the praises of the obstruction. I honestly don't get it. What I like about the EC ones, even the weak ones, there's a beginning, a middle, and the end within the eight pages or so, and it's got a corker of a twist. It's like Twilight Zone or Creepshow, where it always has a good twist at the end. These, they just kind of whimper away, or they have like non-endings. I do love the art in The Clown. Very, very nice. Very manga inspired. And the ending's okay, but the storytelling's not there. I think it could have done with, like I said, the artwork is great and the ideas are okay. But I think, quite honestly, he could have done with somebody doing dialogue or doing the script, because it just felt like a throwaway idea, and I want more. Because right, here we go. Because I'm from the UK. The UK is we do short stories, weekly comics. 2000 AD. We know how to do a 6-7 page story, short, sharp, shock, and it's done. Just Dread can have epics going on for weeks and weeks and weeks, or it can just have a one story which can be even more impactful, done in 7 stories. This wasn't impactful, so yeah, it's okay. Nice poster. I love the poster. This was shite. I am sorry. It felt like it was written and illustrated, quite honestly, by a 12 or 13-year-old angsty horror fan stuck in the bedroom. I'm sorry, but look, I want to love this comic, and I knew from like the second page what was going to happen with it. I knew one of them was going to be a monster. I thought, oh yeah, the other one's going to be a bigger monster. Lo and behold, it's just so tropey. It's not. It's not. It's really not new. It's the oldest horror trope, especially in short anthology. I've seen it in loads of different things, in books, in cut films, in horror anthologies on the TV. So yeah, very very mid. And the art was. I'm sorry, but the art was atrocious. The colouring is fantastic. Gives it that nice old colouring, but it's almost like it's trying to disguise the limits of the anatomy. I mean, that art, just the figure work and the facial work and that, it's just bad. I maybe I'm just too choosy, but I like my comic art to be good. It can. I love out there artists like Ted McKeever, but it's good. It's abstract to the nth degree, but it's fucking amazing. That wasn't. It was ugly, just ugly art. Now, Wes Craig, love Wes Craig. Kaya is one of the best comics out at the moment. The art in this layout, beautiful, but the story, it just felt like sound bites, political sound bites, and I'm look, I am a Trump or Tory supporter's worst nightmare. I'm trans. I'm the most liberal, left-leaning person you can meet. But this was just like poof, 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 like smack it over your head, and the ending was just like, what? So no, but love the backup strip, the ongoing and somebody's eating killing children was meant to be in this again, but it's not in. So boom, not very good. But I really enjoyed The War. So if The War comes out in a collection, I'll buy it. But for The War, 8 out of 10. For the rest of the stories, art for the Wes Craig one, 8 out of 10. Story, 4 out of 10. Rest of the comic, 4 out of 10. So on average, about 6 out of 10. So bye bye, darkness. Wave hello, say goodbye. Yeah, I've got to let it go. I'm just enjoying the EC range much more, and I'd rather stick with stuff I enjoy than just rage or hate read something. It's just not a strong enough pull for me to buy a comic which is $5.99 for one, I think, 18-page strip, something like that. No, it's a shame. I wanted to love you, but she's very pretty. She's extremely pretty, but sorry. So that's my one of 2 negative reviews. I've got one kind of mid-review coming up as well later on. Oh, sorry about that. And then we have John Constantine, Salmon Universe, John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America. Different artists this time. So, Salisbury writing as normal, but it's got Lisandro Estran artist. I think he did the Corinthian series, if I remember rightly. The art is beautiful. So basically, Constantine and the guy with the hollow head, forgotten his name, go to hell with the demon, and he goes to hell to save Swamp Thing, the original Swamp Thing, Alec Holland. I love the illustration of the demon in this. Si Spurrier, please DC, give Si Spurrier the keys to the Justice League Dark and make it a Black Label comic. He would do so much wonderful things with it. He's got such a great grasp on the dark occult characters of DC. This is great. This is like the ultimate example of John Constantine being the ultimate bastard to get what he wants. but in a way he's a bastard, but he also does it for a person he loves. He loves Swamp Thing. He really, really loves the elemental. And so, but it's just great. There's so many baits and switches being pulled in this story all the way through. It's a masterclass in how to do a story. You even forget you're reading about a story in hell. It's just like one big great con. It's just wonderful, and the art is so pleasing. I don't miss the other artists. The filling artists there's been issues where there's been filling artists, and each one have been playing to the top of the game, so you don't get that jarring effect like you do with some comics. But there's some wonderful dialogue, like Demon says to John Constantine, "But you know, John, you travel with baggage. Your guilt shall drown." And John goes, "You fuck-witted cabbage." There's Swamp Thing. Oh, it's just wonderful. And I love how they address how Americans say John Constantine when it's Constantine. Shakespeare is English. I'm English. We all know that. And so the demon says, "And what found us, pray tell, presently seen haunts the gleaming eyes of Constantine." And John goes, "It's pronounced Constantine, you monkey-looking fuck." It's just, it's just wonderful. And he keeps on. I love how the demon's as much of a bastard as John Constantine is, and he goes John Constantine by saying, "The price of your soul, dear John Constantine." It is just wonderful. The dialogue is priceless. Oh, I got 3 more issues to go. Cherish those issues. I hope they bring another series out with the same team. It's just wonderful. 9 out of 10. Wonderful, wonderful series. And then talking about wonderful series, this is one of the ones for best art of the week. This is Zatanna, Bring Down the House, Black Label, by Mariko Tamaki, Javier Rodriguez. $5.99, but it's 32 pages of story, cardstock cover, no adverts, really, really high quality paper. Oh my god, the artwork is a joy. There's not one wasted panel. The colours are done. It's coloured by Javier Rodriguez, so you get the strength of an artist knowing how his characters should look. Like some of these layouts, he would make Jim Steranko proud from his Shield days. Just wonderful layouts. Just look at that layout. It's like almost like a trippy Alice in Wonderland effect. So there's sentient bunny rabbits become like these humanoid bunnies. All parts of this magical realm. So what I love about Mariko Tamaki, she's created a new magical realm in DC, which is just so much fun. And again, look at the colour compositions, just for getting mood. Oh, it's a delight. I was just smiling all the way through this. Again, one of the best series of the year. Worth every penny that I paid. I mean, fortunately I get a discount at my shop because they are fantastic. Forbidden Planet International, we love you. Just want to show another. Just wonderful, wonderful illustrations. So it's carrying on with the story where she's in denial about having magic powers, and this magical society are basically hunting her down, saying that she's stolen magical powers, and she hasn't. But it's just a blast. And there's the last page made me cheer because it shows one of my favourite people. Give you a hint, he's a bastard, and I've just spoken about him a few minutes ago. Oh, wonderful. So I'm even more stoked for issue 4. 9 out of 10. A wonderful, wonderful series. One that's been delayed for years, not years, but ages. It's a Doug Mankey one. It's like the Swamp Thing, was it Green Hell? I don't know if it's his health or what, but DC stopped giving him projects to do if he's not finished them. Let him finish them and then release them. I think there's about 4-month waits for this issue. So I did forget a bit of what's going on, but I soon caught up after like the 4th page. The art is just beautiful. So as before, it's Batman's first experience in space. But Batman being Batman, he acclimatises to wherever he goes and finds the weak spots of different people and different environments to his benefit. and it's just great. There's a really good. There we go. That's the money shots. That is just wonderful. It's worth it just for that alone. The colouring is wonderful. The artwork is wonderful. Jason Aaron, since he left working for Marvel full time, being a freelancer is just. It's like it's opened up floodgates to his creativity. The dialogue in this is wonderful. Yeah, I've missed this comic, and there's only one more issue to go. Really sad. I'm really, really sad. So I give this 9 out of 10. Yeah. So just been one duff one so far. So that's not bad. And then talking of good comics, we have number 15. See Marvel, you can carry on after number 10. We have number 15 of Green Arrow. This is an absolute power tie-in. I love that cover by Phil Hester. So Joshua Williamson writing. DC are killing it with some of the layouts on the interior pages. I love that. It reminds very, very Miller's Crossing. You just need the hats floating by. If you've seen Miller's Crossing, you'll know what I'm on about. And yes, I love the Coen brothers. And just so many fun layouts. So the art in this, I'm sure I've seen work by him before, but it's Amansi Nahupan. But buggered the name up. So they're basically being hunted by the Woman of Tomorrow. So it's tied in very deeply with the Absolute Power miniseries, which you should get anyway because it's the best event comic in a bloody long time. And there's double crosses, triple crosses, but I don't want to give too much away because you really do need to read it. But again, talk about money shot pages. Now that is the Green Arrow. I love that page. So we've still not found out fully why Green Arrow's... Well, we kind of know he's kind of like being pressured into working for Amanda Waller. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets out of it. And yeah, again, a Joyce Reid, 9 out of 10. I'm just going to pause it because my nose is running a bit. And I'm back. That's better. Nice bit of coffee. And next up, what I've done now, I used to stock comics and then sell them on eBay. But what I'm doing now, I'm resting comic series for a while. And then just giving them a few months just to percolate and see if the stories look like they've become more interesting again. And I did that with The Flash. So I picked up number 10 and number 11. I forgot to pick up number 12, but I've ordered it now, so I'll be getting that next week, I think. So some people really hate Si Spurrier's run, but I love it. I hated Jeremy Adams' run because for me that just felt too fluffy, too schmaltzy. It was just too sugary. I was like, maybe it's because I'm English and I'm used to... We like cynicism. We like a bit of sarcasm. We like a bit of bitterness in our comics, in our life. If we can't moan for about at least an hour of a day, we're not happy. So I'm Si Spurrier. It's English, so do like the... I don't know, that cover's enough. That cover is wonderful. So yeah, it's a very heady, trippy, Morrison-esque take on Flash, but it's all coming together now. The art by Perez, I think it's Ramon Perez, is a delight. It's just so nice and clean. Things are making sense now. There's a lot of issues where it did go over my head a bit, but I kind of worked out. And with each issue, it's like scales are slowly being taken off your eyes, like removing cataracts. You go, oh yeah, I see what you're doing now. It's very clever. It's a very fun take on the Speed Force. I like how what they've done with one of the characters, basically one of Wally's children. Don't want to tell you why. You need to read it. It is good. It's a really cool colours as well. Cool visuals. I like how he doesn't make Barry Allen the be-all and end-all of the Flashes. Wally is important. He is the Speed Force, basically. But so much trippy effects, which are wonderful. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it like that. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm back on board. I'm going to put it back on my pull list. And 9 out of 10, really fun series. If you like your superheroes a bit strange, a bit weird science, this will be the one for you. Now, this one, the first issue, I loved. I sang its praises and it was a fun romp. Then we come to issue 2 of X-Force by Geoffrey Thorne, Marcus Toe on art. The art's okay. There's something about the Marvel artists, though. They're very interchangeable. If they didn't have the names on them, I'd just think, oh yeah, it's that artist. They're just like this. They could switch. DC ones, each one is so different to the other. But I'm sorry, I'm distracted by my bingo wings. But yeah, I just don't know. But this felt like such a throwback to the 90s. And I'm not one for nostalgia. But throwback to the 90s in the worst way possible. It's a different mission each issue. And it just seemed contrived and forced. And the story is so piss weak. So they're in Wakanda. Shows Black Panther. It's not Black Panther. So again, misleading. Cover's a bit naff, to be honest. Again, like I say, no. It's clunky. It's got magic tropes. I just don't like it. Yeah, I just enjoy it. I wanted to, so I gave this 5 out of 10. If you like one and done, no brain comics, go for this. But yeah, so I'm trying most of the X-Men ones, so I'm glad I tried it. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first one, but I'm done. That's it. That's because I'll pay for this one. But I've replaced it with Phoenix, and I will be trying Exceptional X-Men as well. And speaking of X-Men, my comic shop finally got hold of X-Men number 2, and I got the recent one, X-Men number 3. This should be amazing. It's got Jed MacKay, who's like Marvel's darling. It's got Ryan Stegman on art, but the art feels dirty. I don't know if it's the inker or what, but it just doesn't feel your typical Stegman. The story is clunky as fuck. It's very overly dramatic. Again, very 90s. And what I don't like, there's this trope what he does, and I hate it when anybody does it, where they start a sentence off and it's like each different character says about the sentence and they complete the sentence that way, and I'm like, I know it's a comic and I know you give creative leeway, but I don't like that trope at all. And to be honest, I don't know some of the characters. I don't like how there's some. If you've not been reading X-Men because you dropped out with Krakoa, which I did, I've got like quite a bit of it when it's the Hickman time, but then when other people took over, it fizzled out. It was just too much to keep up with. So I don't know half of these characters, and they don't do a good way. They don't fill you in very well. So 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it 2 more issues, because I really want to love this. But it is a dear comic. It's 20 pages for $4.99. And it's not even Hickman tax, it's X-Men tax. They've got a lot of different taxes on Marvel. I don't know. But it's the same with Bloodhounds. I don't know if Jed MacKay's just stretching himself too thin. But yeah, so I don't know. Give it 2 more issues. Uncanny X-Men, I love Phoenix, I'm loving Deadpool. X Factor number 1 I enjoyed, but who knows what happened with number 2. And like I said, I'm going to try it. It's like Exceptional X-Men, so I'm kind of excited, but there's been a few that I'm still enjoying, so we'll see with this, give it a few more issues. But oh my god, and this is a big beast. There's even more pages this time. Love that cover as well. This is such a classic Conan cover. Savage Sword of Conan, number 4. There's about 78 pages in here for $6.99, and this is the best printing they've had in one of these since it started. It's crisp, it's clear. There's no muddiness. It's just wonderful. This is the start of the Battle of the Blackstone. This is like the intro point for it, and so it's showing. It's not just got Conan. It's got Solomon Kane, Brissa, Conrad and Kirawan, Dark Agnes, and that Oborok. So it's got more from the Howard verse. So it's really, really interesting. It's all focused on this Blackstone through different generations and how it all and they'll kind of tie it together. But the talent on this, so you've got Patrick Searcher who's doing a wonderful job with Solomon Kane. You've got Jim Zub and Fernando Dagnino doing Conan. Jim Zub doing Brisser with Dean Kotz. Conrad and Kiroan by Jeffrey Shanks and Eric Donovan, who art I've not familiar with, but it's wonderful. Dark Agnes by Fred Kennedy and Andy Ballinger, which is very unusual. It's almost like a manga style art, but I love it in this. And then Black Oasis with really good writing by Ron Mars and gorgeous art by Mike Perkins. So I'll just show you a page from each one. So you've got this wonderful spread from Conan. Solomon Kane. Brisser. She was in the first issue of the Conan Barbarian comic of Titan, the first Jim Zub one. Again, it's a bit more Brisser. This is the best bang for your buck. You get so much value with this. This is Conrad and Kiroan artwork by Eric Donovan. So they're all very different art styles, but it all works well. And this is one that I meant about being very manga-esque. This is the character Dark Agnes by Andy Ballinger doing the artwork. But then he almost goes like Bernie Wrightson with the buildings as well. So it's this weird combination of manga and classic Gothic American comic art. And then you've got the wonderful, wonderful Mike Perkins, who's just a joy in it with anything he does. So this comic, everybody should be buying. It's the best value comic around. Each issue's been fantastic, and this is a 10 out of 10. Just wonderful. And talk about wonderful, we'll now move on to Distillery. So there's been 2 issues this week. I was saying on Threads how it's unbelievable how Marvel can charge $7.99 for a 41-page story in just normal comic book format, Adventures versus Aliens. And this is just $1 Dira. It's big, it's European album size, it's cardstock cover, very high quality paper, 48-page story. So it's basically a European graphic album. And it's just $1 cheaper dearer than Marvel's flimsy comic, which only has 41 pages of story. So I know which one I'd rather go for. And this is done in 3 issues. So this is the second part of White Boat by Scott Snyder and Francisco Francavilla. Francisco Francavilla's artwork is just absolutely wonderful. What makes it so good, again, he's doing his own colouring, and it's a masterclass in atmosphere. So it's basically like H.P. Lovecraft meets Lost. I don't want to give too much away. So he's found out that his brother might be alive. His brother, who he thought died when he was young in a boating accident. And so apparently his brother's running the secret society, and he's on this island. So he goes searching for him. But there's more than that. There's like cosmic secrets, things that have gone through generations and generations for centuries, what have shaped the world without people realising, and experiments that have gone on. What if people knew about, it would blow their minds. And it ends on a really good cliffhanger. It's wonderful. Again, another 10 out of 10 for this week. And then we move on to another Distillery one. I got the Jock cover. I could have got the other one, but they must know my taste at my local comic shop. They put this in my pull list for me. And that cover is just wonderful. So Life is a flip book. And so there's 2 different stories. So it's written by